Guys, I just saw The Host and I don't know how to handle it. Okay, so I read this book about 4 years ago when it first came out, maybe a couple months after it came out. I don't know, I was like 16 and I hadn't read it since the first time I read it when I was 16 in 2009. At the very beginning of March, I was like, okay, I really need to read this book again before the movie comes out because I don't remember really what happens. I read it the second time, I can't believe how much I didn't remember. It was like I was reading it for the first time. So we'll start talking about the casting. About a year ago when they announced the casting, I was kind of confused and I was like, oh, what's going on with this casting? When I read the book the first time, I did not picture Melanie looking anything like Saoirse Ronan at all. I remember when I saw the casting for the boys, I was like, yep. Can we just discuss how it's the end of the human race, basically, but every guy left is hot? Does there have to be an end of the world for that to happen? Because I would probably take the trade. I'm pretty sure that Saoirse Ronan can play Batman and be amazing, so I'll watch anything with her in it. I love her. When I heard that William Hurt was gonna play Jeb, I could have cried. I was so happy. I knew that once they gave him the beard and dressed him up like Jeb, that he was going to just be like the embodiment of Jeb. With Emily Browning, I was kind of skeptical and kind of disappointed, but then when I saw the movie tonight, it was so perfect. I think it's her face. She has the exact face that she was supposed to have. Exactly how Pet's face is described, that's Emily Browning's face. Yes, I approve. I don't care that she's not blonde. She's great. And then with Diane Kruger. Diane Kruger is a great actress, and I didn't expect her to be that great. I don't think I've ever seen Diane Kruger in anything else before. Her meanness was just like the seeker in the book, but then also you could see that she was really struggling, and I just feel like that was such a good touch to put in the movie so we could see that there's something else why the seeker is chasing after Wanda so much. We knew from reading the book that Lacey was still in her body messing with the seeker, but the people who watched the movie, they're not gonna know anything's up unless they portray that, unless Diane Kruger acts that, and she did. And I think my favorite scene of Diane Kruger in that movie was the scene where they took the seeker out of her body and then Lacey kind of wakes up. That was so great. It was so real, and I just loved that scene. I can't even explain it. I just loved it. Loved Diane Kruger, and she's so pretty. Can we just discuss the set design? When you read the book, it's a very specific image in your mind that you have for the caves and for the desert and everything. And I can't believe how spot on the set was in this entire movie. This is the closest any movie has ever come to bringing it from my brain onto the screen. The caves were so perfect. The caves were so spot on. I was so excited about the mirrors on the ceiling because I had no idea really how to picture that in my head when I read the book. I just kind of pictured a bunch of mirrors reflecting light. It was exactly the way it was supposed to be. It was exactly the way it was described in the book, and I can't believe that they paid so much attention to detail when they built that set. I also really liked in this movie how they did such a good job at explaining why certain things were happening or why they were doing things. The people who don't read the books when they go to see this type of movie, I feel like it can be very easy to get confused about what's going on. Like when Melanie wasn't talking to her in her head and she's like, Ian, I need you to kiss me, and then he goes to get Jared and then she has to kiss Jared. I feel like that could be easily conveyed as just she's making out with a bunch of boys because she wants to. I mean, I would want to too if I was in her shoes, but she was doing it for a specific reason. I feel like that's where a lot of movie adaptations go wrong, is that you don't really understand what's happening. Not only did they explain what was happening, but they also did a good job at letting the audience find out what was happening before they explained it. I love that they also added in scenes with the Seeker and kind of the fact that all the other Seekers thought that she was crazy. They showed that that seeker had like something personal that she needed to find Wanda, and everybody else didn't really care. Now, of course, with any movie adaptation of a book, they left some things out. Now, I knew beforehand from an interview with Stephenie Meyer that they didn't have Walter in there. I was kind of sad, but I guess for the time frame, they just didn't have enough time for Walter. But I don't understand why they wouldn't put Sunny in there. I just wanted them to show that Kyle was a douche for a reason. I really loved in the book when we finally saw Kyle kind of soften up and we saw how another soul like depended on him. And I just really, really wanted them to put that in there, but they didn't. And I know there's supposed to be a sequel, and I'm assuming in the sequel, Sunny will be a character, so how are they gonna put that in there? That's just, I think that they should have put her in there. I also wanted them to show like how Wes was such a cool person. And can we just discuss the fact that Brant and Aaron died in the movie? Excuse me, they don't die in the book. The scene was so heartbreaking though, so I feel like it was kind of necessary to put them in there because it showed that the humans were willing to do whatever it took to not become souls. I hate when they kill characters that didn't die in the book because I don't see it coming, and then it makes me sad. When I first heard that they were making a movie of the host, for some reason I expected that they were going to change it a lot. For example, Beautiful Creatures, the movie is a lot different than the book, and I was kind of expecting something like that would happen with the host. But this was maybe one of the best adaptations of a book that I've ever seen. So accurate and spot on. And just, they take a 600-page book and they just condense it into 2 hours. It just fits so well into the time frame that they had. And the fact that they kept in the "you are not leaving me" line, I was so happy that they kept that in there. I was really worried that they would make it look stupid when Melanie was talking to Wanda. And the fact that in the movie they made Melanie have a southern accent was slightly unexpected, and it alarmed me a little bit, but I was cool with it. Can we just take a minute to sit back and appreciate Jake Abel being Ian? He just was Ian. I can't even believe how perfect he was. The way he would look at Wanda was just exactly how Ian would look at her. Shout out to Jake Abel. Like, he has got some skill. He really read the book and just became Ian, and I'm so happy. In the scene where Wanda discovered the dead souls, those of us that read the book, we knew it was coming, and as soon as she walked up to that hospital, we knew that the sight was not going to be pretty. I was so curious to how they were going to make it look, and it was so cool. And really, the thing that I just loved about this movie was that it's not like a girl movie, and it's not like Twilight, for those of you who have not read the book, but the host is literally nothing like Twilight. Nothing like Twilight at all. I mean, I read this when I was 16, and then I, just read it this month, and I'm 20 now, and my mom has read this book twice. My brother read this book and loved it. When I went, my theater was completely full. There were, grown men, teenage boys, teenage girls, middle-aged women. Really, at heart, it's a sci-fi movie. Everyone in my theater was like laughing and kind of like gasping at the same times, and just every different kind of person that was in my theater tonight was enjoying it exactly the same way. I just feel like whoever worked on this movie really understood it and really wanted to make it good, and that's what they did, and I'm so thankful that the people who made the movie actually cared about it. So I'm just like full of feelings and emotions, and I just, Jake and Max, they're so cute. So overall, I'd probably give this a 10 out of 10. It was so good, and it was so accurate, and the things that they cut out, it didn't affect anything. I love this book so much, and I'm so happy that this movie did it justice. If you didn't read the book, you can go see the movie. but I recommend reading the book because it's a great book. That's it. Bye!